Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ethan here, back with another top 5 video, and today I'll be discussing the worst starter Pokemon for each generation. However, I want to be calling out which Pokemon, works best in the Pokemon games. Not on its, looks, but I want to kind of focus on stats and, how it does against the gyms, trainers, champions, and even the evil teams. Without further ado, let's get right into the list. For Generation 1, the original Generation 151 Pokemon will have a worse starter. And please, when I say this, do not get mad. It's all in my opinion, don't get triggered. But the worst starter for Generation 1 has to be Charizard. Without its Megas, it's utter garbage. This is because of Stealth Rocks. The Stealth Rocks are rocks that you lay down to hurt the opponent whenever you step on them. Having Charizard land on these rocks will cut down half of its overall HP, because Rock is 4 times strong to Charizard. In Pokemon Red, Charmander had a tough time dealing with Brock, Misty, Giovanni, and the Team Rocket members, even in the Champion. Not to mention Lorelei, Zapdos, even Bruno because of his Onix. And also because Charizard didn't have access to flying type moves that much. This makes it hard to play through in this game. Sorry, Charizard. For Generation 2, I chose Meganium. I chose Meganium because grass types are horrible for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Its stats are good, but for a grass type wall, Pokemon like Ferrothorn can outclass it completely. Plus, Pokemon doesn't have other moves that cover types. For example, Torterra has Earthquake, while Meganium has Light Screen and Reflect, and nothing really that's another move that he might need to defend himself. For Generation 3, I'm putting Sceptile on the list. I say this because its stats are good, because with speed and special attack, that's really what you need. But its defenses are really, really bad, making it vulnerable. Most of its attacks are grass, and the only other move that it has that's a different type that hits really hard is Focus Blast. I'm not putting any hate on Focus Blast. It's a really good move, but Sceptile isn't a physical attacker. He also lacks in strength, and the playthroughs are really tough for him because of Flannery and Leona having fire and flying type Pokemon, and also some of the Elite Four members were just really hard to play with him. He's really cool. Don't get me wrong, he's really cool looking, but I don't know, I can't see myself choosing Trico. For Generation 4, I feel like I'm putting a little bit too much hate on, Generation's nefarious grass type Pokemon. Let's face it, Torterra is trash. Its attack and defense are good, but its speed is horrible, and that says all it needs to say about the Pokemon. Not to mention, the evil leaders can obliterate this thing with their poison types. And yes, it has Earthquake. But most of the, the evil teams, they'll have Golbat and Zubat, and they have a flying type. So Earthquake actually does nothing. This is why it isn't really good for Generation 4, as you can see. Emboar has to be the worst starter for Generation 5. Its stats are really, really bad. But having its defense and offense as low as they are, Emboar is hard to fight with. Now, in Generation 7, Emboar was given moves like Head Smash and Wild Charge. While this is great, Emboar wasn't created in those. It was created in Unova. And moves like Fire Punch don't really cut it. It has a good move pool, being Firefighting, but let's face it, we already have 2 firefighting Pokemon starters, being Blaziken and Infernape, and they can do way better than Emboar can in the playthrough. For Generation 6, for Kalos, the worst starter has to be Chestnut, because it is a fighting grass. I was gonna say fire there, which is 4 times weak to flying type. Now, people, they usually need a flyer, so you don't have to go back and forth to PC, to grass, to catching, to battling, So, saying this, people need a flying type, and usually on your Pokemon team you have a flying type Pokemon. Having a grass and fighting type Pokemon isn't very good, not to mention May has a Swellow. So saying this, yeah, I guess flying type Pokemon are really good against it, which makes it really bad. I mean, Spiky Shield, its signature move, is great blocking attacks while inflicting damage to the other Pokemon, but it makes it really hard to work with in X and Y. This is why it's the worst starter for my list. In Generation 7, this was actually a really hard pick because I like all of the starters there. It was really hard to choose for me, but sadly, choosing this Pokemon is my Alolan playthrough starter, and it makes me even harder to say this. In Alola, Rowlet has to be the worst starter. I say this because when Decidueye comes into play, it's hard to battle with, him being a grass and ghost type. The island challenges, they're actually really hard for Rowlet to overcome, having Kiawe use Salazzle and Alolan Marowak against Dartrix. Also, its stats are very okay, but you see the attack and special attack are at 100 and 107, but the HP and speed and defense are really easy to overpower, and overall easy to defeat. However, they added him to the Pokemon tournament in the new game, which makes him look a little bit cooler, but in the games, he's really bad. Anyways, that's it for the list, and if you like or enjoyed it, or you agree with me, like the video. Also, smash the subscribe button, and if you want this channel to present more top whatevers or Pokemon Showdown episodes, give this video a like. That would mean a lot to me. And that's it. I'll see you guys for the next one. Keep Pokemon alive and pray for something to be better than Alola. Seriously guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next video.